The breaking news we're following tonight, a new six-figure number that drives home the scope of the coronavirus crisis and the suffering. The U.S. death toll now above 150,000. Let's go to our White House correspondent, John Harwood, along with David Shulkin, Dr. David Shulkin, I should say, the former Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Dr. Shulkin, more than 150,000 Americans have now died from this virus. What's your reaction to this grim milestone that was reached in just a matter of only 5 months?
Yeah, Wolf, it's a staggering number. It's just heartbreaking to see so many of our citizens having suffered like this. And we really started out behind the ball right from the beginning in this pandemic. And unfortunately, had we been more prepared, had we taken a coordinated national strategy approach to this, maybe we wouldn't be reaching such a milestone today. And I think we have to look forward to what lies ahead. And we just really have to begin to start acting in a unilateral way with a singular strategy to get on top of this pandemic.
We certainly do. 1,200 Americans died just yesterday in one day. John, the Texas Republican Congressman Louis Gohmert has now tested positive for coronavirus. His diagnosis came, as you heard from Caitlin, just before he was scheduled this morning to get on Air Force One with the president and fly off to his home state of Texas. It was a pretty shocking development, especially considering the fact that he was at the House Judiciary Committee hearing and very close to the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr.
First of all, Wolf, we all hope that Congressman Gohmert gets better. He said he doesn't have the classic symptoms, but he has been shown the classic symptoms of being very reckless in his approach to the coronavirus. He's dismissed the importance of masks. He has defied requests from other members and staff to wear masks when he is working around the Capitol. He was next to Attorney General Barr yesterday as they were walking through the hallways. And it's symptomatic of how a significant chunk of the Republican Party is defying, disbelieving, challenging public health scientists and public health authorities who have been urging mask wearing as the most significant, simple thing that we can do to get on top of this virus. The president was goaded into endorsing mask wearing last week. He mouthed the words, but he does not seem to mean them in any particular way. And so his message has scattered. And yesterday he was retweeting the views of a crackpot doctor who was saying that mask wearing isn't important. It's a sad situation. And given what's happened to the National Security Advisor contracting coronavirus, someone at the Eisenhower Executive Office building, cafeteria, as well as Congressman Gohmert, we can see increasing risk of it spreading throughout parts of our government.
Yeah, the president today was once again defending his retweet of that really crazy suggestion from that doctor. You know, Dr. Shulkin, Congressman Gohmert suggested that maybe it was wearing a mask that potentially could have contributed to his exposure to this deadly coronavirus. Does that reasoning make any sense from a medical perspective?
Wolf, it absolutely makes no sense. And it's really hard and difficult to watch people who are in public positions continuing to have misinformation about what spreads this virus and what protects all of us. And I think that, people listen to people in public positions like this. First of all, we've seen the congressman wearing a bandana. We know that bandanas are not as effective as cloth or paper or cone masks, first of all. Secondly, we've seen the congressman with the bandana around his neck, and that simply doesn't work. Wearing a mask, if you're not going to wear it effectively, doesn't prevent anybody from getting this infection. And as John said, you're putting people at risk. So we need people who have the proper information. You cannot get this virus by wearing a mask. It prevents you from spreading this virus to other people. It also, now we know, protects you from getting the virus yourself. So we have to get the right information out there, and we have to have people be educated about this. Too many people have died. Too many future people may die if we continue with these misinformations.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy. It's so easy to wear a mask, and that will save lives. You know, John, Dr. Fauci is again today disputing the president's claims about hydroxychloroquine's effectiveness against coronavirus. Why can't the president let this one go, especially as I just double-checked, the Food and Drug Administration back on April 24th cited serious health risk problems in coronavirus patients treated with hydroxychloroquine. And then on June 15th, the FDA, quote, revoked the emergency authorization to use that drug to treat COVID-19 patients in hospitals. But the president is rejecting his own FDA.
Wolf, let's first of all get the terms clear. There is not a dispute between Anthony Fauci and President Trump. President Trump doesn't know enough to have a dispute. He doesn't have standing to have a dispute with Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci is the leading public health official in our government. He has said, and Americans should listen to him, that all of the evidence shows that hydroxychloroquine is not effective in dealing with coronavirus. The president is circulating crackpot theories. He did that with the doctor whose video he circulated, and he did so because he said she was spectacular in embracing his erroneous view that hydroxychloroquine was effective. The evidence, of course, the president cited was, well, it didn't kill me, I'm still here. That is not evidence. As I said, the president has zero standing, nor does Peter Navarro, his trade advisor, to have an argument with Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci, and the consensus among the public health community is it does not work. And the fact that the president continues to assert that it does or that it might is an indication that he's incapable of serving the function of national leader on this pandemic.
Very quickly, John, before I let you go, the president also said today, he confirmed publicly, he did not bring up the bounties that Russia reportedly offered to try to kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan during his recent phone conversation with Russia's Vladimir Putin. Why is the president continuing to downplay the intelligence that he received over at the White House, even though he says, it's fake news?
What other conclusion can we draw, Wolf, than it fits this pattern? Russia was a financial benefactor of President Trump in business before he was a candidate. They helped him win the election in 2016. Robert Mueller told us that President Trump, or candidate Trump, welcomed that assistance. Since he's become president, the president has consistently advanced the interest of his benefactor, Vladimir Putin and Russia, by taking actions that weaken NATO and try to divide the Western alliance. They're pulling out troops from Germany or reducing troop levels in Germany is an example of that. Here, in the case of these Russian bounties or the possibility of Russian bounties, yes, there is an intelligence dispute, but the president refused to even raise the issue with Vladimir Putin. What that tells us is that he is deferential to Putin, he's not willing to challenge Putin, and he's indifferent to the fate of U.S. soldiers under his command.
John Harwood, thanks very much for joining us. Dr. Shulkin, thanks to you as well.